Hello again, this is Dawn Elisha, and I want to welcome you to Gemini Who Rocks. I am a Gemini that rocks. I am also a tortured Cleveland Browns fan. I still want to say Peter Capaldi is the best doctor, and I adjusted my mom better. So look at her, and she beautiful, and look at me when I was a baby. So today I want to talk about driving. I was thinking about it last night when I was like, what should I talk about? And I know in a previous video I said that I didn't learn how to drive until I was almost 27 years old. And I think that was smart because if you're not ready, you're not ready. When I was younger, I did take the driving test. I passed the laws and failed signs. And my mom was like, how could you fail signs? I have no idea. I probably wasn't paying that close attention. So when I did drive, I didn't have an issue with it. I was pretty cool about it. But if you're from the Midwest, you know about snow, you know about ice, and you know about black ice. And I remember one time I was on the road driving and I was going really fast on this curve to go to the highway. I lost control and I spun, and bam, into a snowbank. No one came to help me. No one came to check on me to see if I was okay. Thank goodness my mom's car was okay, so that way she wouldn't kill me. And so once I was under control, I was able to get back up on the road and drive home. And after that, I became extra cautious. I live in Vegas now, and my theory is that all the bad drivers in the world have moved to Vegas to drive bad together because driving in Vegas is scary. Super scary. I remember when my best friend Martin got married, me and my mom and Kim, over 10 years ago, we flew to Memphis to go to his wedding. So that scared me too. And me and Kim were like, oh no, we are not driving. So the first night we drove around because my mom insisted on finding a Piggly Wiggly because she really wanted to go to one because she's seen it all the time. But there were no Piggly Wigglies, even though we did a search, they were there. But nope, we couldn't find it. So for the whole wedding week we were there. Once it got dark, we stayed in the hotel room except for the night of the wedding. We drove in the dark for the wedding and the wedding reception. So that's that. And then when me and Kim when Kim lived here with me, we used to go to San Diego on vacation. And one day while we were there, for some reason, Kim's like, let's go to a casino, even though we live in Vegas. So we drove to California. We went to one of the casinos there, but we couldn't figure out how to get back. So we stopped at a gas station, and the guy was like, oh, you just need to turn at this light all the way down and then turn at the second light. What the man failed to mention was that the distance between the two places. So this was back when I had a Razr phone. We had no GPS and we were driving. It was pitch black and we were like so nervous and scared. We're like, did we turn the right way? Did we go the right direction? And it was like miles before you would see one of those emergency phones. So we just kept going and going and going. We were so happy when we found civilization. And I was like, I am never doing that again. If I'm going to a casino in California, I'm going in daytime. And I couldn't even tell you if I won, if she won, or what the casino was. So that was the thing. Another thing I like to tease Kim about that really annoys her is that I've been living in Vegas, I think 17, 18 years now, but she lived here the first several years. And I've always wanted to go to see the Grand Canyon. And until you live here, you don't realize there's three Grand Canyons: the north, the south, and the east. I've never been to the east because that's where the glass walkway is. I don't want to do that. So the main famous one is the south. Years ago, I came here with my mom's good friend, Carolyn Heath, and my friend Ruth, who came to visit me from the UK. And I got so drunk on Long Island, and so on the bus tour, I was so hungover, so I couldn't really pay attention. And we got out. I feel sick. And then we got on the bus and came back. So one time, the second time, Kim was here. Her sister was visiting, and we decided to go to the Grand Canyon. So my version of getting up early is like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Their early is 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So we got in the car, we drove to Grand Canyon. By the time we got there, the park was closing in like 30 minutes. So we had to turn around, get in the car, and go back. I was like, oh my God. So the third time, my mom was living with us here in Vegas. It was me and my mom and Kim. We printed out the instructions. We drove. I was driving, and so we were driving there. And then Kim was like, "No, you're not supposed to be in that lane." And I was pretty sure we was, but for some reason I like to listen to Kim. I got out of the lane, and then my mom looked at the map and she was like, "No, no, you're supposed to be in that lane." So we tried to get back over. No one's letting us over. So we have to go all the way to Flagstaff, backtrack around, and get to the Grand Canyon. They're closing in 30 minutes to an hour, so get in the car and drive back home. So I feel that someone does not want me to see the Grand Canyon, so third time is not the charm in the case for me. I love, and so what I love to tease my friend Kim about is that this was a long, long time ago, back when Scrubs was still on TV. And when we first moved to Vegas, no, my mom wasn't living there because we were staying at the budget suites behind the Stardust. Stardust is gone. And I had my VCR, yes, I said VCR, set to record the season premiere of Scrubs. And because we got back so late, I missed it and I didn't record it because she said, "We're not going to be late. We're going to make it." And so to this day, I'm like, "Remember that time you caused me to miss Scrub?" She says, "Oh my God, let that go. Let it go, Dawn. You can't let that go. You got to tease your friends for life." And another thing I like to tease Kim about is when I was visiting her in Maryland and she wanted to take me to a casino. I think it was in West Virginia. And so we were driving there and in her defense, it was like road construction. There was stuff all around. And then I happened to look up and I said, "Is that the Capitol?" And she says, "We're not that lost, Dawn." And then we turned a corner, bam, that was the Capitol. And so I don't know how we wound up from Gaithersburg, Maryland on the highway to DC trying to get to West Virginia. And so we finally get there, and I still to this day is like, "Well, remember the time you got us lost going to the casino in West Virginia?" She says, "Oh, Dawn, let it go, let it go." You can't do that. You got to tease your friends for life. So I just want to know, do you think that you live in the scariest city of driving? I know Vegas is crazy driving, and I know Cleveland was cool, but you have to get used to snow. I don't know if I could still drive in snow anymore. I know that I'll be really nervous about it since I haven't done it in so long. But I know that I'd be super careful because I will always remember the car spinning and me hitting a snowbank. So that's all for now. Thanks for listening. So hopefully I'll hear more from you guys soon and you let me know what you want to know about me or what you want me to talk about. But I want to know what you feel about driving in your city. Bye.